Everyone, and a hearty greetings to all of you. So today we will be reading the third story of English textbook of grade 7, and today the lesson which we are going to read is in comic form. So have you ever read a comic book? A comic book contains stories told mainly through pictures. So a comic book is a story which is being told with the help of pictures. Alright, so let's find out our next lesson. So today's story is called Gopal and the Hilsa-fish. It was the season for Hilsa-fish. Fishermen could think of nothing but Hilsa-fish. So in this picture you can see fishermen here all over, and they are catching fish with the help of their net, and it was the season for Hilsa-fish. So Hilsa-fish is a kind of fish, and fishermen cannot talk of anything else but only Hilsa-fish, right? None but Hilsa-fish is being talked by the fishermen because it was the season. Fishmongers sold nothing but Hilsa-fish. So fishmongers means a person who sells fish. Come buy. The price of Hilsa-fish is down today. Householders could talk of nothing but Hilsa-fish. How much did you pay for that Hilsa? You wouldn't believe if I told you. So these are householders, mean a person who holds the responsibility of a house. So here a lady is asking question and the man is giving answer to her question, and the question is talk is all about Hilsa-fish. And in the palace too, the courtiers could discuss nothing but Hilsa-fish. In the palace means the king's resting place, and their courtier are a person who who works in the court of king. Court means in the room of king. Your Majesty, you should have seen this huge Hilsa I caught. It was... So this is a courtier, and he's also talking about Hilsa-fish. Stop it! Are you a courtier or a fisherman? The king seems annoyed. The courtiers fell silent with downcast eyes. So downcast means when you feel disappointed and rejected. The king felt guilty. So because they were all looking down with their eyes, downcast eyes, the king felt suddenly guilty. I'm sorry, I lost my temper. It is the season for Hilsa-fish and no one. So temper means control. So he lost his control, and because it was Hilsa-fish and no one, not even Gopal, can stop anyone from talking about Hilsa-fish, not even for 5 minutes. Oh, I think I could, Your Majesty. So this is Gopal. Then let me see you buy a huge Hilsa and bring it to the palace without anyone asking you a word about it. I accept the challenge, Your Majesty. So now Gopal was given a huge challenge by the king, because it was the season of Hilsa-fish and nobody was not talking about Hilsa-fish. All of them were thinking about Hilsa-fish all the time. So the king thought that it was impossible to stop people from talking Hilsa-fish, and he challenged Gopal. So Gopal accepted it. So let's find out whether he would be able to do it or not. A few days later, so after a few days, right, Gopal thought for several times, and then Gopal's wife, why is your face half shaven? So you can see that his face is half shaven. This side is shaved and this side is not. I'm dressing up to buy a fish. What's the matter with you? Why are you smearing yourself with ash? So smearing means when you're rubbing something on your face. So ash, right, he's smearing, applying ashes all over his face and body. I told you I'm dressing up to buy a Hilsa-fish. Listen to me. Please, you can't possibly go out in those disgraceful rags. What are you up to? So you can see, what is he wearing? He's wearing torn clothes, right? The clothes are all in bad condition, and these are called rags, and this will be disgraceful. Disgraceful means shameful. So she is requesting him not to go outside. He cannot do that. How many times must I tell you, woman, I am out to buy a Hilsa-fish? And then he left. It's happened to him. He's gone mad. He has gone mad. Gopal bought the Hilsa-fish and started walking towards the palace. Mother, look at that man. Isn't he comical? So a comical means a person who makes you laugh. So this little boy is laughing at the look of this man. He must be a madman. Shh, I think he's a mystic. A mystic is it'd be like a powerful person, like a person who has magical power, or a person who has attained enlightenment, or has a sense of knowing. Mystic, okay, a person who is mysterious. So these are the comments made by people. When Gopal reached the court, what do you want? I want to see the king. So these are the bodyguards there. You can't see the king. Get away with you. The bodyguards are rejecting him because he looked very weird and strange to be allowing to get inside the court. Gopal began to dance and sing loudly. So you can see in the picture, he's dancing and at the same time singing loudly. Inside the palace, the man is crazy. Throw him out at once. I want to see the king. Let me in. Bring that man to me at once. At once means right now, instantly. Yes, Your Majesty. Gopal was brought before the king. So this is the courtroom of the palace. It is Gopal. All the courtiers are talking that it is Gopal. The man has lost his mind. I think it's one of his crazy jokes. So the courtiers are remarking him. All right, Gopal, out with it. Why are you dressed up in this ridiculous fashion? So out with it means share. Why have you come here? Okay, tell us the reason behind all this ridiculous fashion, right? Nonsense fashion that you're wearing. Your Majesty, you seem to have forgotten something. Forgotten means when you forget, right? Past tense of forgot. Forgotten something? So what did the king forget? Strangely enough, no one seems to be interested in Hilsa-fish today. From the market to the palace and in the court, not a soul has spoken a word about Hilsa-fish. So you see that today Gopal bought this huge Hilsa-fish from the market, and he then walked straight forward to the palace and inside the court. But strangely enough, nobody seems to have noticed that there was a Hilsa-fish, and nobody talked about Hilsa-fish. Not a soul has spoken means not even a person was there who talked about the Hilsa-fish. Only then did the king remember the challenge he had thrown to Gopal. Ha ha! Well, Gopal, congratulations. You have achieved the impossible once again. So then he congratulates him and maybe have given him reward. And with this, we are done with this short comic and pictorial story. Now, you all will be able to answer these questions if you were listening and watching the video properly and carefully. Okay, so the questions are like, why did the king want no more talk about the Hilsa-fish? It was only because everyone was talking about Hilsa-fish, and nobody can stop thinking of Hilsa-fish. So the king got annoyed and infuriated. He was furious and angry. So he doesn't want anyone to talk about Hilsa-fish. The second question, what did the king ask Gopal to do to prove that he was clever? So the king threw him a challenge, right, to stop people talking about Hilsa-fish even for 5 minutes. What three things did Gopal do before he went to buy his Hilsa-fish? So when he was in his room after a few days of accepting the challenge of the king, he first half shaved his face, beard, and then smeared ashes all around his body, ash, and then he wore rug clothes, torn clothes. How did Gopal get inside the palace to see the king after he had bought the fish? So, how did he get inside? Well, the bodyguards, the gatekeepers, were not allowing him to get inside. So, he sang, he danced, and he did all this very loudly. Explain why no one seemed to be interested in talking about Hilsa fish which Gopal had brought. Now, this question should be answered by you, and you can write in 3, 4, or even 6, 7 sentences. Alright, so this one is simple. Just think of the sentences whether these are false or true. True means correct, false means incorrect from the story. The king lost his temper easily. So temper means anger here, okay, and control over anger. So the king lost his temper easily. Yes or no? Gopal was a madman. True or false? Gopal was a clever man. True or false? Gopal was too poor to afford decent clothes. To afford means to have the ability to get something. Jöndan rai nyöegi yo nyöegi nyuba yoela la ore nyotuwegi nyubal decent lana rembo simple ra ning jemo clothes la na tulo la too poor lana pe the kyo ra. The king got angry when he was shown to be wrong. Did the king got angry when Gopal proved him wrong that people can stop talking about Hilsa-fish? So I hope all of you know whether the statements are true or false. And with this, we are done with this short story called the Gopal and the Hilsa-fish. I hope everyone have enjoyed the reading, and I suggest you all to go through the story by yourself and read the story by yourself once in order to have a better understanding of the story. That's it. Thank you all.